You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Universal Tractioning Systems, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Everest Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Chiro Matchmakers, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Bax Max. Let's hustle. All right, guys, Jim Chester here with the Chiro Hustle live stream. This is a morning edition. I have Tabor Smith. He is coming in from Houston, Texas, and I'm coming in from Grand Junction, which is in the Grand Valley in the western slip of Colorado, which I like to say it's where no one lives, and I moved here to hear the birds chirp. But before we jump into all of this, Tabor, today's episode is sponsored by the Chiro Moguls. If you want to know how to run $1 million office and you want them to come in and tweak your systems for you and teach you how to achieve that, Adam and Amanda Affelblatt are your source for the Chiro Moguls. So go over to the chiromoguls.com, click the link in the description up top. And we just want you guys to check out our sponsor today, and that's Chiro Moguls with Adam and Amanda Affelblatt.
Good people.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, Tabor.
Thanks, man. It's an honor to be here always. I always appreciate you allowing me on to share my passion and share what I got going on.
Yeah, you know, there's a really great movement that you're starting with spinal hygiene. You're owning the languaging around keeping the nervous system healthy. And I think a lot of times people don't really understand what you're doing. So I was like, man, if we could just like let the cat out of the bag a little bit and talk about spinal hygiene. I know that you're doing like lives daily. We'll talk more about that. But you're getting into accreditation with life with the program. So we'll touch on that a little bit too. But I think it's just super important for people to know how you're building awareness. So let's just talk about building awareness.
And that's what it's all about. Like, I think as chiropractors, you know, we get so inundated in just running our own business and getting new patients that we don't realize, like, we need to start a movement. Like, we need awareness. Like, okay, so you always see these ads for cancer awareness, right? And, you know, breast cancer awareness, autism awareness, and that's great. It's fine. There's a reason why they do that, though, because before they make this huge campaign for awareness, nobody knows about it. So nothing gets done if nobody knows about it. And the fact is, you know, even though we've been I'd say in business, as chiropractic's been around for over 130 years, it's like we haven't created enough of an awareness that people could understand, if I don't take care of my spine, it will decay. Like, that needs to be out there. Dentistry's done a great job of teaching awareness about dental health. We know if I don't take care of my teeth, they will decay. Like, that's common sense now. It wasn't always common sense in human history and society, but because dentistry did such a good job of educating, it became common sense. So common sense that I take my 3 little boys to the dentist without them ever having a toothache, without them ever having a cavity. Like, there's no issues. And you know what? That was my goal, was to make sure that there would be no issues as they grow up for their teeth. That mindset should stay the exact same when it comes to the spine, that every parent in the world should understand that it's just common sense to take my kid to the chiropractor to have their spine checked, not wait for a subluxation, not wait for a back pain, not wait for a teacher or a nurse to find scoliosis. Like, we want to prevent those things. That should be common sense. But it's not yet. And so what we're trying to do is build an awareness that will create that household knowledge that we should take care of our spine.
Yeah, you know, I know that this didn't just come out of nowhere. Let's talk a little bit about how you had this epiphany moment that you thought we had to start taking control of the branding around spinal hygiene.
Yeah, so look, man, it happened to me. Like, this is the reason I'm a chiropractor today, was I couldn't hardly walk when I was 16 years old. I started having severe lower back pain, shooting leg pains down my legs. I didn't know, my family knew nothing about chiropractic, so I was taking pain pills, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories, and I was miserable.
Just ruining your stomach.
Yeah, exactly. Just destroying my organs. But I had no other I didn't know what else there was, right? Until I had a family member who was having really good results with a local chiropractor that said, why don't you take Tabor and just have him check him? And I think we had a referral to a neurosurgeon at that point. But we thought, let's try chiropractic first. absolutely changed my life. And I was in such misery before that I was like, I never want to be back in that situation again, ever. So what I need to do, what do I got to do? I grew up in sports, so I thought, well, maybe I just need to work out. If I work out, I'll have a healthy back or something. But I was like, that's what propelled me to go to chiropractic school, to learn everything I could. And then when I started my own practice, I thought, man, it's great if you come in for an adjustment once in a while, but why aren't you taking care of your spine every day like you do your teeth? Right? Because that's what I do. That's what I do personally every single day. I'm doing a range of motion exercise. I'm laying on spinal molding rolls. And then I am getting my adjustments on a weekly basis, or my checkups at least on a weekly basis. And so if it works for our teeth, it works for any area of the body. In fact, look at just the body in general. We have to do nothing to let it deteriorate. You could lay on the couch, eat potato chips, and put zero energy in, and it will always decay or deteriorate. But if you decide, no, I'm going to put the energy in, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to jog, I'm going to lift weights, then you can take care of it for a longer period of time. It's just like the teeth. If you do nothing, they will decay. If you put the energy in to take care of them, then we can prevent decay. Same thing for the spine. If you do nothing, it will decay. But if you put the energy in to take care of it, it will last longer. People just don't know that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I really caught on to what you're accomplishing. I know that you're doing a lot to help other chiropractors implement these systems and strategies as well. And you're doing, I think you said, what is it? Free training series?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We've teamed with Life University to create what we call the Spinal Hygienist, and they can go to spinalhygienist.com to check that out. And you can actually opt in for some free videos we put together, training on the concepts of spinal hygiene. And then there's even a next step for some people have joined our program to become the first ever certified spinal hygienists. We actually have a seminar coming up in 2 weeks in Atlanta where we have the first students who are going to be sitting for that exam, and they will be the first ever spinal hygienists.
Wow, that's super groundbreaking. I know that spinal hygiene is going to be something that's going to catch on more and more as we start implementing the language into our vernacular, and we start educating people. I know I've talked to people that have used your systems inside their clinics, and they couldn't be more than happy with what you've been able to accomplish for them. So I know what you've taught people is working.
It really does. It not only provides a huge value to society, which is step one, number one, but it also does help build a environment of lifetime spinal care inside your office, which is what a lot of chiropractors are going for. I know not all of them, but it is what I want to create in my office, is a value for my community that when a patient comes in, they learn how to take care of their spine for a lifetime, and their family learns about it, and they learn the importance of regular checkups and adjustments. And even though they are exercises that I give them to do at home, they know that there's no substitute for a chiropractic adjustment, right? It's like a cavity. You got to go to a dentist to get the cavity corrected. You can't brush it out. You can't floss it out. You should still do those things. You should still brush and floss, but you got to have that dentist on your health team. And it's the same thing when it comes to chiropractic. It's like you can do your range of motion exercises. You can lay on your spinal molding rolls. Those are great for helping you maintain what you get in my office, but you got to get adjusted to correct subluxation.
Yeah, it's like, who else I just want to ask you a dumb question. Maybe it's not dumb, but who else would you go to fill your cavity?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, and let me ask you this too. Have you ever went to a dentist? And not leave with a free toothbrush and floss and them encouraging you to take care of your teeth from home? Like, they always do that. Why? Well, you would think if I didn't brush and floss, I would need them more, so they wouldn't teach me how to do that. What they see is exactly what we just covered. They're creating lifetime patients in their office because they are owning this arena of lifetime dental care. They care about their patients' dental health, and so they say, "Are you flossing? Are you flossing? Are you doing it properly? This is how you do it properly. Here, take these things and go home and do them as well as you possibly can." And they care about their patients, and their patients see that, and so dentistry is the number one preventative healthcare profession in the world because they own hygiene.
And they've branded it the right way. They've done a great job of educating from the day you get teeth to
Yeah,
to the rest of your life.
right,
And
exactly.
it's basically cradle to grave care. And
It is.
I think when people think about chiropractic, it also has to follow that same model. We have to go from cradle to grave care. Otherwise, what happens is what we've seen, like in Australia, where they start lambasting the profession for taking care of babies.
Right.
And I think that we have to start owning cradle to grave care. Otherwise, people are going to start taking that away from us.
And
And
how
like,
did this happen? Like, yeah, like it's so ingrained in society to take your kids to a dentist that if I didn't, I would be a bad parent, right? How did we get this idea of if you take your kid to a chiropractor, you're a bad parent? Like, how did the opposite thing happen? That doesn't make any sense. It should be you're a bad parent if you don't take your kid to the chiropractor and have their spine checked. Like we've messed up somewhere, and I think it is by not embracing the concept of spinal hygiene, like dentistry embraced the concept of dental hygiene. That's preventative care in its ultimate, right?
Well, it's the same thing that you were talking to me about earlier. And my friend, when I jumped on his little live with him, he asked me, like, dude, you've been working in the chiropractic space for this long. What have you really accomplished? And that kind of took me back a little bit on my heels. And I'm like, well, we've gotten the message of chiropractic outside the four walls of chiropractic, and we've leveraged media into a positive positioning for the chiropractic message. And I think that that's what we need to continue doing. We need to create these media outlets. Everybody should be doing these lives, man. Like you said, you've been doing them daily.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your tenacity and why you decided to do it daily.
Yeah. Ashley, once I started doing lives daily and I started sharing them, I do lives for chiropractors, but I do lives for my patients as well. And I share them on my my business page, my office Facebook page. And just the other day, Gina, my wife, she works in our office as well. She came up to me and she's like, where are all these people coming from? We're having people that haven't came in forever. They're just coming in. I'm like, I wonder if they're seeing my lives on Facebook. That's the only thing that we changed was I started doing daily lives, and people start coming out of the woodwork into our office, right?
Yep.
And so what I figured is, look, man, I'm just being lazy not doing a live every day because it doesn't cost me any money. It's great advertising, marketing. Only thing it costs me is time and a little bit of mental work, and that's it. And I should be putting forth that every day anyway.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of docs and they're like, well, what type of schedule should I put myself on to do these things? And that's really what stops people, honestly. They're like, well, what's my frequency? Should I do these? What time of the day should I do them? What topic should I talk about? And I tell everybody, just let it rip. Go on there and say, hey, this is Dr. Tabor Smith. I'm going to talk to you today about frequency of care. And we're going to talk for 5 minutes about frequency of care. Let's go.
Yeah, one of the things I started doing is exactly that on a daily basis. I don't have a specific time because what that does is it ruins your schedule. So I'm just going to go live for 5 or 10 minutes and let it rip, like you said. But I also schedule a monthly workshop, and it's for my patients. I'll set up an email sequence for it. It's a spinal hygiene workshop. We do it on the last Monday of the month, and I go live on my Facebook page and I blast my patient email list. So that one's scheduled and it's at 7 p.m. on the last Monday of the month. And I get, 20 plus people live on that, which is good for my Facebook page. But the reason I do it the last Monday of the month is because I want to not only teach the patients in my office how to use their spinal hygiene stuff and their kits, but then I'm promoting the dinner workshop, which I'm doing the dinner the first Monday of every month. So if I do my big workshop, my spinal hygiene workshop on the last Monday of every month, and then at the end of it, I can promote the dinner and invite them to my dinner. I'm actually filling up the dinners more by doing that and teaching my patients how to do the spinal hygiene, and then growing my Facebook page too.
So those are really amazing tips for people that are watching. Marketing is something that you learn over time. How did you develop into the idea that you can be a great chiropractor and develop good marketing tactics?
You know what, dude? I think the new marketing, especially for small business, is education. Like if you have something valuable, which you do if you've been to chiropractic school, or everybody does, but I know chiropractors do, right? You're sitting on gold right there. And people need to hear about it more than they've ever needed to hear about it before in our society. So you really have this value. All you have to do is teach it, and that's it. Even if you suck at the close, okay, even if you are terrible at sales, even if you never want to ask somebody for money, those are all little speed bumps we all have to get over. But don't even care about that. Just teach the value that you have, and that's marketing.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Imaging Services, Zing It Solutions, Universal Tractioning Systems, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Everest Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, Rhino Coaching, Chiro Matchmakers, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Bax Max. Let's hustle.
And what that does, Tabor, is I think it amplifies.
Right?
I think
I
just think it amplifies someone's voice, and it gives them more certainty in delivering their message on any level.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times when people join like a professional networking group, they get that like 2 minutes of talk at the beginning of the group, and then they get their 15-minute presentation like once a quarter. But yeah. I think that those things matter. I think joining a Toastmasters group matters. I think doing Facebook Live solos matters. I think going out there and meeting people in your community and inviting other community leaders to lunch once a week matters. Yep. I think all these things really matter because it builds your confidence in being a business person, but it also allows you to tell the story of chiropractic.
Well, and like you were mentioning earlier, I think before we even went on, like consistency is key. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter if you suck on today's live because you did it and you got experience from it, and you might suck a little less on tomorrow's live and then a little bit less on the next day's live. And it's like, I go out and we do lunch and learns a lot for my community. When I first started doing lunch and learns, I get like one new patient from them, right? But that was better than none. But the more I did them and the more I saw like, whoa, I got 5 new patients on this one. What did I do differently? Oh, I did this. I said this differently. And then they just evolved into like, you're actually good someday, you know?
You're so right, man. And, you know, I did my first group webinar for my new patients in a box group yesterday. And I played a video, okay, to the group before I started talking about it. It was like a 2-minute video that I made. And the video didn't play through to the actual webinar. It played in my headphones. So, you know, the big advice to that is you don't have to get it right, but you have to get it started. And you're gonna go through learning curves like that where you're like, darn it, my video didn't play, but I learned now that if the video doesn't play, I'm still gonna follow through with what I'm supposed to do and do it better next time.
That's right.
And I think that's a lot of thing with consistency. You know, we're pushing on 1,000 lives, bro. Like we've almost done 1,000 lives since you could go live on Facebook.
That's awesome. You know what? I think even as a chiropractor, if you have patients, like I actually am going to go live, and I've already thought about this before we even got on this one. One of my topics for going live on my office page is going to be consistency is the only thing that matters. Like it is the only thing that matters in your life. Like if you're good to your kid one day, like, but all the rest you're like a terrible parent, that one day doesn't freaking matter at all. You know what I mean? If you brush your teeth once in your life, whip-de-doo. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a bit of difference. But I guarantee you brush your teeth every day. You try to be a good parent every day. You might not brush your teeth one day, or you might actually be a bad parent one day and make a mistake. You know what I mean? But if you're consistently doing the things that you should do, that's the only thing that matters in your life. It's the only thing that builds success in your life. It's the only thing.
Consistency is key. Yep. I know that there's a lot of things that we're discussing. We're talking about your spinal hygiene course, your free training series, daily lives, working with Life University. I know that that's one of the topics that we talked about, how people can become certified and become a spinal hygienist. I know you said your program, it will actually give 2 certifications for a doc. If they go through it, they can bring a staff member that goes through it as well. And really, I wanted to touch on that a little bit is because I really love the idea of getting chiropractic education and educators more consumer minded. And I think that bringing in the staff and teaching them how to do this really bridges the gap from, this echo chamber of the chiropractic message to now it's starting to get vibrational tone outside of it. And now we're building credibility with the people that are really the foot soldiers. These are the front. This is the outward facing glass that the public sees is the staff members.
And you're turning your staff members into like, warriors, little marketers that are sharing the message. You know what I mean? Plus you're making less work for yourself, delegating. And, in dentistry, they use dental hygienists as like a form of income, and then the dental hygienist school is crazy. Like it's years that they have to go and they get certified. But we're already using like rehab techs in my office. They're just girls or guys off the street that come in and, like I taught them how to do it myself, and I show them how to help with the rehab, and I show them how to take the spinal hygiene kit, the home care kit that we give, and teach the patient how to do it. But if I'm taking them and actually having them certified, for example, let me give you a little bit of a story that happened in my office before my staff became spinal hygienists. I happened on rehab, and it was we were doing rehab for a 17-year-old girl, and the mom was sitting there, and the mom asked my staff, like, what credentials do you have to help my kid do these? And I explained to her that I taught this, my staff member, and that she was very good and knowledgeable, and she's a CA. But now I can actually say, well, she's a spinal hygienist certified through Life University. Your kid's in this, there's just a feeling of, oh, my kid's in good hands now because my staff is certified,
when I was starting out in chiropractic, some people know this little story about me, but I started out as a rehab tech, and I was doing traction CBP work. And I kept on telling the docs that I worked with 9 years ago, I'm like, dude, we need to create like a hands-on training to get these people certified. So then we can start building leverage for the office worker to be more established and have a better career. I go, if you just bring people on, like you said, off the street and you train them up and turn them into rehab techs, it's cool for that person. Right. But now just think about the career path that we could put somebody on by giving them this certification to where now they have a little badge of honor on their patch there saying, I have accomplished something.
Yeah, sure. And somebody comes to me, and if I'm looking to fill a CA position and they're a certified spinal hygienist through Life University, they're going to go right to the top of my list, man. So... because they're taught in the philosophy. So part of the certification is the philosophy of chiropractic, because I'm a chiropractor and I firmly believe chiropractic should own spinal hygiene, just like dentistry owns dental hygiene. Yeah. So, and now here's the scary part. If chiropractors don't start stepping up and owning spinal hygiene, medical community could do it if they wanted to. Physical therapy could do it if they wanted to. Massage therapy could own it if they wanted to, but it's chiropractic. It's there for chiropractic's taking. Like, we should be the perfect profession to actually own spinal hygiene.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more when the work that you've been accomplishing and what you've been able to feature now and be able to brand. I think that when I talk to people about Chiro Hustle, it's not just a podcast that we created, it's a brand. And I think the same goes over to spinal hygiene. It's not just a daily live that you're doing. You're creating a movement and a brand, and you're doing the work to connect the dots to give it legitimacy. And I think that a lot of times people are like, well, I just want more people to listen to my stuff. I just want more people to watch my stuff. Well, you have to create a brand, and you have to have a big cause. You have to have a major why as to why you would do it and why you would evolve something from just a logo over my shoulder into a household name. And that's the same thing that you're doing with spinal hygiene, is now you're bringing spinal hygiene into being a household name.
Sure. I hope it's a brand that helps millions of people someday, and that chiropractors can get behind because it's respectful, and that it is it's something they would want to represent as well, because I believe it could help grow the profession of chiropractic as a whole. And that's that's my selfish reason. I love chiropractic, and I want chiropractic to be at least the second largest healthcare profession in the world, because we're the third largest right now. And then I want us to actually take over someday as the largest healthcare profession in the world, and the largest preventative healthcare profession in the world, helping families take care of their spine and nervous system. And how beautiful would that be?
I think it's a great initiative. I love your ambition. I love your consistency. I love the drive. I love the branding. I love how you came from just a guy that finished chiropractic school, and then you had a big mission. You went out there and served big, and you said, well, what can I continuously do to help more people? You're one of the humblest people I've ever met. You're one of the best. You're one of the best leaders out there in the profession. That's always giving your time, your talent, and your treasure. You keep on serving. I love what you do with the rodeo people. I love that you support your family so well, and you have the family unit around you all the time.
Thanks,
it's just
brother.
so cool to see what you've been able to accomplish.
Those words mean the world to me. Thank you.
And just watching you evolve now, I know what's next is more success. You're going to have more momentum. You're going to help more people. And now more people are going to go into their chiropractic job when they show up, and they're going to be certified as spinal hygienists, and they're going to feel really proud about being on the chiropractic team. And I think that that's something we need to do. Is I hear all these people saying, hey, we need to unify more. Well, how about we unify the little clique that you have that you show up to work with all the time, and get everybody on the same page working for the same cause.
Yeah, well, and that's what I hope spinal hygiene can do for the profession, is unify us even more, because there shouldn't be a chiropractor out there that would disagree you should have a healthy spine, right? I mean, that's the foundation of what we do. And we try to make it very simple in our education that the spine should be in a good alignment. It should move through a full range of motion. Are principles of spinal hygiene, and I don't think there's a chiropractor in the world that's going to disagree with those three components of a healthy spine.
And if they are, their heads aren't screwed on right, and they have a subluxation, they have an above the atlas subluxation.
That's right.
So with that being said, man, I know we've talked for about 25 minutes now. Is there anything that we didn't touch on you think we should have talked about today?
No, I think we covered a lot in just 25 minutes, which is awesome, and it felt like 2 minutes to me. But what I would just tell people is that as a chiropractor, I think we're talking to most of the chiropractors there. You have a huge value you're sitting on that the people in your community need to know how to take care of their spine and nervous system, and you are the leader. You're the teacher. And the more that you can get up and share that message, the better. I think it can only explode your practice in the future.
I agree with everything that you said. And I think that we just had another comment come in. You only get one spine. Take care of it with spinal hygiene. Your spine will thank you.
Love it.
I think that that's a great closing statement. Thank you, Candace, for making a comment. I also want to recognize Brandy Morgan. She said, love it, 100% backing awareness. And, having people comment in, if you guys watched this up to this point, you found value in our message today with Tabor, hashtag value in the comments. If you did enjoy this and you think that there's some value in this, please share it. If you're one of the 4 people that are on right now, just hit the share button. We need more people to get the awareness that Brandy's talking about. I just also want to thank Adam and Amanda Affelblatt with Chiro Moguls for sponsoring this Facebook Live today and allowing us to keep free speech alive and well in the chiropractic profession and keep on hustling with us. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Okay, Tabor?
Sounds great.
So you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.